Morning News.
We're now 2 weeks away from the Pennsylvania primary, and the top 2 candidates making stops in the state today will tell you where you can see them locally. One of them.
Over 70 brush fires reported statewide, and this is why. Conditions favorable for fires. I'm Michael Gorsegner, live in New York County. We'll show you around what's making for some harsh conditions up and down the Northeast with brush and forest fires.
Plus, stick around to the end of this hour. That's when we're interviewing TV and movie star Rob Lowe.
Courtney just swooned live on the air.
Oh, yeah.
You're allowed. He's a good-looking dude.
I'm not even going to talk anymore. We were talking before the show. Kirsten has an amazing picture of him on her Facebook page. And
he's just a really pretty man, and he's 48, and I swear he looks better now than he did when he was in his 20s.
It is possible. I'm waiting to be good-looking. That's not going to happen anytime soon, though. Well, let's talk about today. We're talking about very dry conditions. Mike was talking about a red flag warning is in effect everywhere except Mifflin, Juniata, Snyder, Northumberland, Schuylkill counties. Now, your 7-day forecast is coming up in about 10 minutes. But right now, let's take a check on that twin of York traffic with Donna Bradley.
Okay, still have that construction going on the Pennsylvania Turnpike as we look at the Lancaster area, eastbound right around Lancaster-Lebanon interchange, so use caution there. The right lane is closed, not really causing major backups at this time. In fact, no major backups heading into York on Route 30. Looking good on 83, even 83 south through the construction zone at Loganville is in fine shape as you head towards Baltimore. Heading up towards the Capital Beltway, though, we got some slow spots, and that's where we start to see some red on the roads. And that starts off with a slowing between Pennsylvania Turnpike and the York split. And don't forget 83 south, temporarily closed between 19th and exit 42 for Lemoyne. That's all due to a car fire. Just avoid that area if you can. I'm Donna Bradley with your Toyota of York traffic on Fox 43.
All right, thanks so much, Donna. It seems early this time of year, but a dry winter leading to some major fire concerns across the state.
An estimated 70 fires burning across Pennsylvania right now. Fox 43's Michael Gorsegner is live in York County, where conditions are ripe and people really need to be cautious in these dangerous conditions. Good morning, Mike.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Conditions certainly prime. You're talking about a dry winter, which led to some harsh conditions here. This is what we're looking at. Look at some of this underbrush in a tree here in York County. You can just tell it's dry and it's flaky and it is ready to burn. Obviously, conditions like this, a dry winter along with relatively low humidity and some high winds that have been kicking up over the past days, making for some pretty intense fires all across the Northeast. Flames burning out of control in several spots across the Northeast. A suspicious wildfire burning in the Pine Barren section of southern New Jersey. This scene indicative of conditions across the Northeast and right here in Pennsylvania.
It was moving fast enough that it almost outran both of us as we tried to establish water.
Firefighters walking the woods in Newberry Township looking for hot spots from a brush fire that scorched some land. The flames starting in a nearby shed off Old Quaker Road yesterday morning, spreading quickly to the dry brush and woods behind the home.
With the smoke, it can engulf you pretty quick. I mean, it was just a big billow of smoke right here.
This fire, one of an estimated 70 burning across Pennsylvania with dozens sparking across the Northeast. Flames spreading from New York to Connecticut to New Jersey. A warm winter, dry conditions, and heavy winds causing some major problems.
Right now, with everything being dry and not having a lot of water over the last couple of days, it's extremely dangerous for us. So we want everybody to be on alert.
Fire crews saying people should be very vigilant when dealing with these harsh conditions.
Any kind of burning, cigarette smoking on the deck. I know people don't want to smoke in their house, but you smoke outside. If that cigarette butt goes behind your house and it's woods, we can land up in here.
As you can see, certainly some dry conditions here outside of Rocky Ridge County Park in York County. This is why the National Weather Service has issued a red flag warning. Now, just keep in mind if you are out and about today, probably not a good idea to burn outdoors for the next few days. Obviously, some winds, not too bad right now, but that could be kicking up later in the day, could spread those fires quickly. Also, keep in mind if you have cigarette butts, just keep an eye on them. Don't throw them out into areas like this. Obviously, it could cause some burning conditions. So a few things just to be able to try and make sure that these fires don't spread too quickly. Live in New York County, Michael Gorsegner, back to you guys.
And Mike, we've been talking this morning about the burn bans. Nothing in effect right now, but are you expecting that to happen pretty soon?
You know, it's hard to tell. This is usually conditions you see like June, July, and August when you've kind of gone through a few months of warm weather. It usually doesn't start this early, so that's when those burn bans usually go into effect. It's obviously up to the townships to make those decisions, but if the weather continues like this, I wouldn't be surprised if some of the municipalities decide to put some burn bans into effect to make sure that these conditions don't get worse with fires.
Regardless of whether they're in effect or not, fire crews still saying just do not burn anything. All right, Michael Gorsegner, we'll check in with you in just a little bit. Election 2012 back in Central PA this week. Former Pennsylvania Senator Rick Santorum is making 2 local appearances today. He will be at an event at 2 o'clock at the Gettysburg Hotel. That will be followed by an appearance at Lancaster Bible College at the American Heartland Conversation on Faith, Family, and American Values. That is the title of the event. That begins at 7:15 at Good Shepherd Chapel. The Santorum camp is reporting that his 3-year-old daughter Bella is doing better after she had a weekend hospital stay. Bella Santorum has a rare genetic disorder. Santorum canceled campaigning yesterday to be with his little girl. Meanwhile, frontrunner Mitt Romney will also be returning to the campaign trail in Pennsylvania today. Romney will attend an event in Chester. Now, this comes after last Thursday's appearance in Harrisburg. Romney will be back in Central PA just 2 days before the primary. That event will take place in Franklin County. Romney will speak at the Green Grove Gardens Event Center in Greencastle on Sunday, April 22nd. The event is already sold out. Now, the Pennsylvania primary is April 24th. Meanwhile, it's still not clear whether Newt Gingrich will stay in the race. He's already moved campaigning to North Carolina, whose primary is in May. On Monday, he met with community leaders and high school students in Raleigh. This just the day before Gingrich said his campaign is in nearly $4.5 million in debt, and he expects Romney to win the GOP nomination. Gingrich says he is staying in the race to influence the party's platform.
New developments in the Jerry Sandusky case. The judge has issued a gag order forbidding anyone involved in the trial to talk about it publicly. Now, this announcement comes less than 2 months before Jerry's selection is expected to begin. The former Penn State assistant football coach faces trial in June on more than 50 counts of sexually abusing young boys. Voting starts today to fill 3 open alumni positions on Penn State's Board of Trustees. 86 candidates are vying for the seats, which is a record number. Many alumni were upset after the board decided to fire longtime coach Joe Paterno after the Jerry Sandusky scandal broke. Many of the people who are running for the seats say they also want to rename Beaver Stadium in honor of Joe Pa. Harrisburg's Public Works Director calling it quits. Ernie Hawk submitted his resignation letter Monday, saying it was time to move on. Hawk, who took the job in 2010, said he'll work through this week and that his resignation had nothing to do with the city's debt crisis. However, he did file a harassment claim against Mayor Linda Thompson last month. Now, this resignation comes on the heels of the state-appointed receiver David Unkovic, who unexpectedly resigned on March 30th. 9 city Harrisburg staff members have left their position since Mayor Thompson took office in January 2010.
Business owners in Midtown Harrisburg are considering a yearly fee to improve safety in the area. The Midtown Improvement District held a meeting last night to talk about the idea. If it does go through, the property owners would pay about $60 to $70 a year for several off-duty officers to patrol the area. Now, in order for this to move forward, 60% of property owners would have to approve it, and then it would go before City Council. Students across the country expected to participate in National Hoodie Day in honor of Trayvon Martin. Students at William Penn Senior High School in York City will be among the participants. The students at York High started a petition 2 weeks ago asking teachers and staff to join them in wearing hoodies in connection to the case in Florida. Martin was reportedly wearing a hoodie when he was killed. Meanwhile, that Trayvon Martin case will not go to a grand jury as first planned. Martin was shot to death while walking in a Florida suburb about 6 weeks ago. George Zimmerman, a neighborhood watch volunteer, shot the teen. He is claiming self-defense. Martin's parents say the shooting was racially motivated. A grand jury was to meet today, but yesterday the special prosecutor in the case announced that she decided not to use a grand jury. Now, that does mean that she alone will decide if there will be charges in the case, but she also went to say she is yet, that is, to announce when she will make a decision. Meanwhile, George George Zimmerman has launched a website soliciting financial support for his lawyers and living expenses. The website also warns supporters about groups falsely claiming to raise money for him. And another violent case near us right now is getting some national attention as well.
Police in Baltimore are trying to identify several people who are caught on tape beating and stripping a man naked. It may be a bit disturbing to watch. This happened over St. Patrick's Day weekend, and the video has gone viral. Police say the man had been drinking and was a little dazed when a crowd surrounded him. Someone grabbed something from his pocket, then the man's eventually kicked, punched, and then stripped of his clothing.
What they did to him, just on a level of humanity, it makes you question the motives of those individuals. Not only did they rob him, but they attempted to strip him of his dignity. They tore his clothes off, they mocked him. That behavior just will not be tolerated.
Now, Baltimore police have identified one suspect. He's not in custody yet, but he and others could face charges for assault and robbery. Now, this is also our topic of the day. We want to know, what do you think about this video? Tanya says, I think it's sad. Not only is the guy being assaulted and robbed by this scum, but the bystanders are humiliating him by recording this for the sole purpose of making a YouTube video. All should be sitting in jail right now. And Scott says, despite the guy being intoxicated, doesn't give anyone the right to do what they did. I wonder what would have happened had the guy been carrying a firearm and used it in self-defense. Head to our Facebook fan pages to weigh in this morning.
The Federal Reserve Chair says more needs to be done to prevent economic failures like that of 2008.
Yeah, Ben Bernanke pushing for some improved regulations. He was talking about it Monday. We're going to tell you what steps he says need to be taken to prevent those financial meltdowns.
Plus, spring is in full bloom, so we're hitting the garden. Tips on how to make sure your vegetable garden works, even if you don't exactly have a green thumb. We're speaking to a gardening expert live coming up next.
All local, all morning in Harrisburg. You're watching Pennsylvania's Fox News.
Glee actress Jane Lynch is trading in her mean and snarky personality for some classic gags. She's appearing in the new film adaptation of The Three Stooges. She plays Mother Superior as Moe, Larry, and Curly try to rescue the orphanage they grew up in from financial troubles.
I'm doing a whole different character in The Three Stooges. I'm doing someone who's really nice and heart-centered and beneficent.
Three Stooges comes out this weekend, and of course you can always watch Lynch on Glee every Tuesday night right here on Fox 43. A new episode airs this evening at 8 o'clock. Textbooks are now joining a long list of products that are going digital. McGraw-Hill, the big textbook publisher, is collaborating with Apple to pack digital textbooks into tablets. According to the company, more than 2,000 school districts are experimenting with a variety of digital tablets. Now, supporters say this will prove to be more convenient, as well as have some interactive features that will increase learning, and updates to textbooks can happen more closely to real time. Facebook has purchased the photo-sharing network Instagram for $1 billion. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg says it's the company's biggest acquisition ever. Instagram allows users to add special effects to photos taken on their smartphones. Zuckerberg says combining Facebook and Instagram will give users the best online photo-sharing experience.
Kirsten, $1 billion. We are clearly in the wrong business.
I know, $1 billion.
Billion, not a million,
for
a billion.
An app.
I know, an app, beautiful. Well, a cooler start for today than we had yesterday. Yes, partly sunny skies with the slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm. A little bit better chance on Monday and warmer as well, up to 75 degrees. That's the skies. Let's take a look at the roads. That's Toyota of your traffic with Donna Bradley.
Okay, over in the Lancaster area, we do have an accident. Fruitville Pike at Route 30. You want to watch yourself there. That's in Manheim Township. Over towards York, we've got an accident in Conewaga Township, Susquehanna Trail near Cloverleaf Road. You want to be careful there as well. Looking up 83 towards the Capitol Beltway, we are definitely seeing slow going on 83 south between the Ike and Lemoyne. That's due to that vehicle on fire. Only the left lane is getting by, and you're very much stacked up 83 north between the Turnpike and the York split, just getting to the Capitol Beltway. May want to find another way around. I'm Donna Bradley with Toyota of York Traffic on Fox 43.
Thank you, Donna. Well, now that spring is officially here, many of you are probably getting excited to get outside in your garden. But if you don't quite have a green thumb, we have some help this morning. Charlie Nardozzi joins us live to talk about how you can successfully grow a vegetable garden. Good.
You can grow lettuces and greens. Even if you only have a couple hours of sun a day, you can actually fit those into a porch, a patio, a balcony, anywhere where you can grow things.
All right, Charlie, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We'll have all this information and more on our website, fox43.com. All you have to do is click on the As Seen On tab. So a military jet that crashed and hurt 7 people. It destroyed dozens of apartments. This was the scene in Virginia on Friday. Well, now the U.S. government is handing out checks to those who were affected.
All local, all morning in York County. We are Pennsylvania's Fox News.
Violence in Syria now spreading to the border with Turkey. Syrian forces firing into a refugee camp in the neighboring country, hurting at least 5 people. The violence come as a UN peace plan falls apart. The UN estimates nearly 10,000 people have been killed in Syria since the uprising began in March 2011. The U.S. Navy handing out compensation checks to victims of last week's military jet crash at a Virginia apartment complex. Payouts will start at $2,300 per person to cover housing, meals, and clothing. A fighter jet went down shortly after takeoff Friday, destroying dozens of apartments. No one was killed, but 7 people were hurt, including the 2 pilots.
The U.S. Federal Reserve Chairman says the Federal Reserve is determined to learn from its past, and now they're working to address the failures that were exposed by the 2008 financial crisis. Despite these efforts, Ben Bernanke cautioned during a speech in Georgia Monday night that America's recovery is far from over, and new unpredictable issues are bound to emerge, he says, that regulations need to be improved.
We're developing a framework and infrastructure for monitoring systemic risk. Our goal is to have the capacity to follow developments in all segments of the financial system, including parts of the financial sector for which data are scarce or that have developed more recently and are thus less well understood.
Now, one thing Bernanke did not touch on during that conference was last week's disappointing jobs report. Only 120,000 jobs were created in March. That's a slowdown of about half of the number of jobs that were added in each of the past 3 months. Wildfires are breaking out throughout the East Coast as these dry conditions continue today.
Now there's a red flag warning for much of central PA. Fox 43's Michael Gorsegner is live in York County with what firefighters want to remind you. President Obama makes his big push for the Buffett rule today. We're going to explain what this means in just a few minutes.